My name is David Segal. I am in my third year. I am a native Houstonian, born and raised, grew up in West University. It was a long process of deciding to be a lawyer. For a long time, it wasn't really something I considered. I worked after college in Washington in an advocacy organization, and then I went to become a rabbi. I went to seminary and did that that was a 5-year program, a year in Jerusalem and then 4 years in New York. And then I served a congregation in Colorado for about 7 years. Moved back to Houston with my wife to be a community organizer here. And it was at that point that I realized that the combination of my interest in public policy, but from a religious perspective, would be well served by complementing my seminary degree with going to law school. It was sort of like the one missing piece in a way. I felt like being able to apply those things together and what I wanted to do. So a few reasons for choosing U of H Law School. One, full disclosure, my dad went here. He was class of 1971 and then had a long career as a tax lawyer here in Houston. And but beyond that, I actually think that was the reason I didn't want to be a lawyer for a long time. So I was like, what he did, and my parents were always encouraging of me, but it took me a while to come back around to it as the right path for me. We were at a point in our lives where my wife was in a job here, our kids were well situated, my family's here, really good support network, and I started to look around and think, well, if I'm going to do law school, it needs to be now, and saw that there's a great option in Houston, and that it has great professors, that it would be a diverse student body, it would be like interesting people to learn alongside with and from. Also that, I didn't do the part-time program, but knowing that it is well known for the part-time program, I sort of reasoned that it would be supportive of someone like me who was coming in later in life with children, looking for some more flexibility in some ways, even though I did do the full-time program. And I found that to be true, and it's been great. I'm glad I took this step. I agonized a lot before deciding to go back to school again at this point in my life, but I'm really glad I did it. I actually had a friend who I was leaning on for advice, a family friend, as I was deciding whether to apply. She was also a U of H law alum. And I said, by the time I finish, I'll be 43. And what does that mean for like my career? And she said, you're going to be 43 whether you go to law school or not. I'm like, that's a good point. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. And I've liked classes I thought I would hate way more than I thought I would. And I'm happy to be able to say that too. Just topic-wise, yeah. It's hard to pin it down to just one most rewarding aspect of law school, but so a couple things that are closely related. I've been really impressed with the quality of professors and the teaching. Haven't had anyone I wasn't excited to learn from and with and challenged by, which is great to be able to say. And classmates too, really connected with people. Again, being older than the average by a bit, I wondered how that would be socially. And I knew I'm not going out to the happy hours all the time because I have kids, but really feeling like I've clicked with friends here and who I learn with and discuss issues with and just enjoy being in class with. So I guess that comes down to professors and students. It's been great. What I like about U of H, as I said, great core of professors that I've gotten to learn from, great set of students. I think the access also to the outside of classroom learning that I've been able to do, an internship with a federal judge 2 summers ago, summer after my second year, and then a nonprofit clerkship this past summer with the Texas Civil Rights Project. And for those to count, well, in one case count as credit, as part of an externship program is a great feature of the law school. And just the diversity of offerings. My advice to incoming students is to take a breath and trust yourself. You were accepted for a reason. And 1L year, especially the fall, there's a lot of self-doubt and second guessing that can come into it. And a lot of comparing yourself to your classmates. The curve is this sort of like thing that's always looming there. but take a breath, remember the reasons you went into law school, and try to stay focused on that. If you don't know exactly, well, then be open to discovering them. And also listen a lot to mentors, both student and teacher, and particularly what second and third year students are telling you. Generally advice about law school, and also specifically about your professors, because so much about law school class is particular to your idiosyncratic professor, what they want, what they expect, what they're teaching. Really pay attention to that. So my summer clerkship with Texas Civil Rights Project was a great benefit to my growth and education toward my career for a few reasons. One, the obvious, that I am hoping to go into public interest in some form, impact litigation, which is what they do. I was at their voting rights team and got to work directly on some cases in that area around redistricting and voting laws and related issues. But even also just on the nuts and bolts of practice, I got to learn really firsthand in a crash course on pretrial motions, litigation strategy, managing multiple legal teams, multiple plaintiff groups, and a really complex litigation, and got to just handed work to do around drafting motions and researching that was not stuff I'd done before, because I haven't been dealing with litigation much in the courses I've selected for myself. This is really my best grounding in that, and I think it will help me regardless of where I go from here.